Rossi, what's up?
What's up, man? That song slaps. It always will.
Yeah, it really does. It's not many are better than Brock, but that one's better than Brock.
It does. You can sing along with it.
All right, we're here to talk about Brock Lesnar versus Cody Rhodes, one of the 7 main events for SummerSlam. So, Rossi, are you surprised that there's no stipulation in this rubber match?
I'm shocked. I mean, there's been a couple of times. I mean, this was probably more the Vince regime, although, obviously he's still got a piece of the pie going on right now, but maybe not now with this spinal surgery he had. But there's been a lot of times that I feel like Brock matches in particular, they'll just put the graphic up the night of the pay-per-view and it has like no holds barred in it. So I wonder if that might happen. I mean, I don't really remember the big last like big Brock pay-per-view match that had rules. So especially on a blow-off. So I'm kind of surprised. But they also might have an idea that doesn't need the bullshit. Maybe they have a way that they have this planned out where, Cody's best way of going over here, which obviously I expect him to, is to do it in a conventional means. So I'm open to it, although I am surprised.
Yeah, I figured I'm kind of pleasantly surprised. I'm not sure. I'm optimistically surprised. Let's put it that way. I'm curious whether they have a store for it. And I kind of wanted a bull rope, not going to lie. But then again, I'm kind of glad I don't, because maybe by having a bull rope gimmick, it's still kind of an out for Brock, and they really want to put a ribbon on this feud for Cody. Does it still bother you that there's zero explanation on why Brock Lesnar attacked Cody Rhodes on the night after WrestleMania 39?
No, it really doesn't, because it's Brock. When has Brock really needed an explanation? You know what I mean? Like, he's viciously beat the shit out of people with no reason before. And I mean, there was kind of that inkling on the first night of the feud that he was pissed that he wasn't in a big Mania spot, and Cody was. So I just don't. I feel like people that are still talking about that have kind of missed the plot, right? How it might not have had a real good reason to start, but then it became a blood feud from there, and it didn't really need a reason.
Yeah, I think I don't think it's like we're missing like a comma in the sentence. You know what I mean? It's not perfect, but it's kind of sure. Right now it don't matter, but it would be nice. It would be a nice ribbon to this. But still, they had a great match at Backlash, or they had a very good match at Backlash, and I thought they had they stepped up at a bar. I thought Cody was exceptionally well on that loss at Classic, was it Classic Champions or whatever the fuck Saudi was this year?
Night of
So
Champions, yeah.
Night of Champions. So I like they're doing well with this. It's working. Cody feels like he actually belongs in the ring. WrestleMania 38. Cody's coming in against Seth Rollins. There's no way Cody Rollins feels like it's appropriate for him to be in a ring with Brock Lesnar in an even playing field. Now it's kind of even, he feels the part. And that's a testament to him living up to the push that they've been giving him the last 2 years. So, I'm pretty optimistic that this is going to deliver, despite its flaws of having not necessarily a great build. Well, a reason to build. Like this is straight ahead. There's no real nuts. It's just a straight nuts and bolts kind of feud. There's no wiggle room or no in between. They don't really need much to kind of get going here, as you said, with Brock. But I'm optimistic that they're gonna pretty much land the landing here, and we're gonna be okay. So, nope, no stip, no nothing. I assume Cody Rhodes is going to win. Are you with me on that boat?
Oh, yeah. And I mean, and the thing, too, is there was a 3-year stretch. I think it was, 13, 14, 15, that Brock headline Mania, or maybe 13. I don't know what it was, but he main evented 13 through 16. He main evented with like Punk. That was no DQ. But then it was Cena, Taker, Orton, and those didn't have stips either, and they were all brutal matches, right? For one reason or another.
One of those, yes.
So I think that they are going to be more along that mold. I would be fucking stunned if Cody didn't win this match, because if he doesn't, then I can kind of jump into bed with those people that are like, hey, this Mania story was stupid, right? But at the end of the day, by beating Brock, it kind of quiets that crowd. Because he just beat Brock Lesnar in a pure feud that really didn't need bells and whistles. He just beat him in a real wrestling match. And I think that would be huge for him, instead of like the no holds barred, or I'm sorry, last man standing bullshit where you could dump a table on him and that's how you win.
Or a bell rope where you touch four corners. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, all right. So, Cody, it's kind of the first time where I feel like he's the guy at WrestleMania 40 to go against Roman. You know, I think they can land that and have it be impactful and be okay there. This is kind of the first time that I'm starting to be like, okay, I feel it. I see it. I kind of want it now, opposed to kind of being like, oh, it was fun at WrestleMania 39. They did a great job, but I don't want it next year's WrestleMania. I want something fresh. I think Cody still, I don't know if it's the documentary. Did you check that out yet?
Not yet. I definitely want to.
So I don't know if it's fresh in my mind, that documentary, and the story can continue. That story didn't end at WrestleMania 39. It can continue to WrestleMania 40, and that's fine. So if you haven't checked out that documentary, check it out. I'm sure you will, Mike. But are you kind of with me on that sentiment that you feel that this is where you want Cody versus Roman WrestleMania 40?
I do, and I have for a while, because I feel like that's what will make the 39 finish make even more sense, is if ultimately he does finish the story at Philly, right? But at the end of the day, when you look at when they position the release of this documentary, Cody stayed hot. You can listen to the 10% of the wrestling fan base that is internet-based fans that think that the fact that he lost at Mania mean that he was buried. Like, losing a match doesn't mean you're buried. It means that there's a longer story for you. And having a documentary come out that I haven't seen yet, but it obviously has been very highly regarded by everybody that I know that has seen it.
Little too long, but it's
Yeah.
4 crucial parts. You got the Dusty part, you got the Cody and the WWE part, you got the AEW part and the indie part, and then you have him returning part, and then you have all the way up till WrestleMania.
Yeah.
You got the Seth feud, WrestleMania 38, WrestleMania 39, the Rumble, all that. So it's jam packed, a little long in the tooth, but I was good with it all.
Yeah, and then you've got that comes out Monday. He beats Brock on Saturday, and then he goes into another feud that he can probably do 2 or 3 months of, and then you can maybe start to think of that Mania build one way or the other. I don't think you need to really worry about getting him into that Reigns match until maybe the Chamber. I don't think he's not going to win the Rumble again, right? But beating Brock in a 2 out of 3, essentially what it turned out to be series, is going to be huge for him. And that's kind of where I'm happy there. Like I said, I'm happy there's no stipulation, because I think he'll benefit more from, hitting him with 3 crossroads and pinning him clean in the middle of the ring than he would if he hit him with a fucking sledgehammer or whatever,
Stupid. All right, good. So we're good on Cody. Where are you at on Brock? He's obviously going to go away after this. We assume he's going to lose. Over under Survivor Series that he's back.
I think he's back whenever Saudi is. So what's that? The beginning of November, maybe. So probably mid-October he's back to build something. If he stays on Raw, I don't know. I mean, who knows?
Almost 2.
Who knows what happens with Judgment Day? If they have a split up coming, and then maybe Priest becomes a big time baby, he's a good opponent for Brock. Something as dumb as like Bronson Reed could be a good match for Brock if they really want to go that route. You think Saudi, you think like maybe a heavy match to kind of offset the fact he had a Cody kind of quasi squashy the first part of the year. There's a couple of things they could do. He could show up on SmackDown. He could, wrestle. Who's on SmackDown that I'm missing? He could wrestle LA Knight. I don't know. There's a couple of different.
We'll find something for him.
There's plenty of ways. It's Brock fucking Lesnar. They can find and make a match interesting in 10 minutes of TV.
Saudi makes sense. All right, so let's talk the elephant. Well, not really the elephant in the room. Really, the bee in the room here. The rumor of Bray Wyatt returning on at SummerSlam in one of the 3 main events. This match in either world title match. I don't think he's going to return in the Seth match. I doubt he returns at the end of the tribal match. So it's kind of this match. I don't really think Bray's going to come back. I think that's a rumor, but I think it's be worth kind of just darting back and forth real quick and see what we thought here. I'd rather have Bray just return and kind of in the middle of the card and just do something there to kind of get his footing here. He returns and attacks Cody afterwards. He returns and costs Cody the match. I don't know. It's Cody's bulletproof, but as you were talking about 5 minutes ago, ramping him up for WrestleMania 40, that's dangerous territory if you're going to insert Bray Wyatt into that role on keeping Cody super hot. Now, if they think Cody is bulletproof and they can use Cody to turn around Bray, then Bray is going to be the eater of pins again and lose that feud. So it's kind of just a recipe for, I don't know, not really compelling stuff.
Yeah,
Play the game. I don't think he's going to do it, but if he were,
I think my interest level in the Bray aspect of this would be which Bray it is, right?
yeah,
If it's the Uncle Howdy bullshit, I don't have any interest in it, and I feel like that would be a move backwards from Brock, right?
yeah.
But if they tell the story, which I don't remember the intricacies of right now, but there's some story with Cody and Husky Harris and
Yeah, for NXT season 2 or whatever.
there's a story to tell there that's sensible, right? And especially if you're coming off a Cody documentary, it's easy to go into that story that happened, in section 2 of that 4-part documentary. Yeah. So I think that there's definitely ways to do it that would be good TV and it would be sensible. And, there's ways that it would suck. And if I see
Cody named him Husky Harris. Bullshit.
Yeah. If I see Uncle Howdy, then I'm not going to want to see it.
Yeah.
Bring me the Fiend back.
What do you think Uncle Howdy's up to?
I don't know. I mean, Bobby Lashley beat the shit out of him, and then that was it. So ultimately, that's where if Howdy comes back, it should be with Bobby Lashley, right? I hope I never see Uncle Howdy again. And this is me who defended it for the first month of it because I was interested in it. They hooked me with the rabbit shit. But at the end of the day, the bell rang, and when the bell rang at Rumble, he fucking sucked like he normally does. So give me Cape Fear Bray, have him avenge Husky Harris, and I'm all in. Even the Fiend. I mean, the Fiend was wonky at times, but I understand why you do it, right? He makes money, he sells gimmicks, but Bray Wyatt and Uncle Howdy feuding with himself and now feuding with Cody. How do you look at anything but moving backwards off of a Brock feud if you were to do that,
Yeah. So I don't think it's going to happen. I hope it doesn't really happen. I'm interested in, if Bray wants to come back, just not near anyone near the top. All right. So outside of Bray, what's next for Cody? Like, you come off a Brock Lesnar win, you come off a personal feud like this, you got screwed on the WWE Championship. Your attention is going to be either on the WWE Championship or the World Heavyweight Championship. And the story is the WWE Championship. Mike, spoiler, they hammered that story in the documentary of the WWE Championship. So that should be his focus. What do you do? Like, could you do like a go? If you say we're going to flip him to Raw, say we're going to flip him to SmackDown for Roman Reigns. Do we do Gunther now? What do we do?
That's interesting too, and that's where maybe Drew McIntyre, but Cody shouldn't lose a feud, right? And if you're flipping
really Drew coming off of Gunther,
exactly. If he loses the Gunther and then he goes heel a month from now,
I got it.
He can't lose, so I don't like it.
What's Madcap up to?
Yeah, anything's possible. Nakamura, if he's a heel, might not suck. But then then you're talking like spot 1 month, 2 month feuds. There's ways to usually keep them interesting. I mean, they've kind of done the Judgment Day stuff a little bit, but there's legs with it. But I'm of the firm believer that Finn's going to win the title. So I almost feel like you got to keep Cody away from the Judgment Day if that's the case. Mm-hmm. Even if he doesn't win the title, those guys probably shouldn't. Again, they're huge and they're hot, but it still feels less than Brock. So I don't think you're going to get a major blood feud out of Cody for the next couple months. Maybe he gets one more in the lead up to Rumble or something to keep him out of the Rumble match itself. I don't know. But there's ways to do it. Maybe it's as simple as everybody knows it's going to be Roman, so he feuds with Solo somewhere in the fall, or I don't know. There's a bunch of different ways that they can do it. I just hope that it doesn't feel like a letdown coming off the Brock feud. And that's not even to say that this Brock feud has been fucking amazing, right? But it's Brock Lesnar. It doesn't have to be amazing for the ultimate moment when he gets his hand raised while Brock lays in the middle of the ring. That's the moment that makes the last 4 months or whatever it is worth it. So they've got to really, hopefully they have a game plan in place. And Bray works to an extent, but it just can't be goofy Bray. It's going to be serious Bray that actually fucking wrestles, you know?
Yeah, that's dangerous territory. All right, Mike, that's it. I got Cody.
Yeah, you got to.
Yep. Good stuff. All right, Mike, see you on the next one.
Later.